300 years ago, an ancestor of the Clark family, the richest family in the capital, said a cruel word when passing by the abandoned baby tower in the city. Girls are useless, they deserve to die. This sentence cursed the men of the Clark family for generations. Since then, every man in the family will undergo a terrible transformation on their 25th birthday. Their bodies begin to develop complete breasts and even uteruses, as if they are gradually becoming women from the inside out. The only way to lift the curse is to marry a woman with a curse-breaking blessing. My sister and I were born with this blessing. In my previous life, Tristan Clark came to my house to propose to my sister, but I saw through his true intentions and tried my best to stop him. In the end, he was forced to marry me. On the night of the wedding, my sister left a suicide note and jumped off a cliff, claiming that I had taken away the person she loved. My parents scolded me for being cruel, and Tristan hated me even more. On the 7th day after my sister died, he tied me to a helicopter and hung me in the air like a kite. I cried and begged him, "I saved your life. Please, let me go." He roared with anger on his face, "I want to marry Bianca. Even if you didn't intervene, she could have saved me. You ruined everything, you killed her, now die." After that, he cut the rope. I fell from a height and was smashed to pieces. But when I opened my eyes again, I returned to the day when Tristan came to propose. This time, I wanted to see with my own eyes how Bianca would save him without the so-called blessing. "Dad, Mom, I want to marry her," Tristan announced, pointing at my sister who had just walked into the room in a white dress. As he spoke, he cast a threatening look at me, his eyes full of warnings. At that moment, I understood he was also reborn. My sister tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and asked sweetly, "Dad, Mom, who are they?" My parents smiled and proudly introduced her to the Clark family. I couldn't help but sneer. They had been secretly together for a long time. Why are they pretending to be innocent now? Too lazy to watch their acting, I got up and prepared to leave. But Tristan's voice stopped me. He stared at me with contempt and said, "Heloise, stop talking about the curse that only you can break it. I will never marry you. You are so ugly. Give up as soon as possible." His parents scolded him, but he shouted even louder, "Dad, Mom, the curse is just a stupid rumor. It's been 300 years, who cares?" Mr. Clark slapped him on the back of the head and roared, "Stupid. The reason we haven't mutated is because we have always married women with curse-breaking blessings. Tristan, you will be 25 next week. You can't delay it any longer." Mrs. Clark also said with red eyes, "Son, this is true. I am a curse breaker myself, so your father married me. We searched for more than 20 years before we found 2 girls with the same blessing. Please don't be willful." But Tristan pointed at his sister stubbornly and repeated, "Then I will marry her. She also has a blessing. But I will never marry Heloise. If you force me, I would rather die here now." I laughed coldly. It turned out that this play was just to shut up others. In my previous life, after he announced that he was going to marry my sister, I stood up and said in public, "He can't marry my sister. She can't save him, only I can." Tristan was furious on the spot and scolded me for being wishful thinking. My parents also doubted me. After all, they always favored my sister. Only the Clarks took it seriously and decided to force him to marry me after discussing it privately, thinking that it was better to take the risk of marrying the wrong bride than to lose him completely. But they never knew the truth. Because my sister and I are twins, blood related, I can see secrets that others can't see even she doesn't know. Yes, on the surface, she has the same blessing, but if he marries her, she will not only fail to save him, but will destroy him. In my previous life, after my sister committed suicide, I tried to tell my parents her secret, but they refused to listen, and even scolded me for being cruel and heartless, and completely cut off ties with me. I also tried to tell Tristan, but not only did he not listen, he tied me to a helicopter and threw me to death. I fell to a bloody mess, and it was not until the last moment that I realized the truth. He and my sister had been together for a long time. She committed suicide not because I robbed her love, but because she discovered the secret in her body and was scared. This memory sent chills down my spine, as if I could still feel the pain of falling from a height, like a nightmare from which I could not wake up. But this time, I would not be a hero again. I would watch them destroy each other. "Don't worry, Tristan," I said calmly, "you are not the person I want to marry anyway." I gave him a meaningful look, then nodded politely to the others. "I'm leaving first." As I left, I heard my parents explaining to the Clark family, "The eldest daughter has always been a little weird and not very pretty. Please don't mind." There was a dull pain in my chest. Growing up, my parents always favored my sister, just because she was born a few seconds later than me. Every time, I had to give in to her, step aside, and let her shine. When I discovered her secret and tried to tell my mother, she scolded me for being jealous. My father placed all his hopes on my sister, thinking that she was beautiful and obedient, and could marry into a wealthy family to improve the family's status. They never really cared about me, and now, I don't care about them either. I took out my phone and opened a text message from 3 days ago. "I agree to marry you," I replied, "but I have one condition." That night, Tristan was afraid that I would ruin his plan, so he had someone spread the word that he would marry our second daughter. The wedding was scheduled for his 25th birthday. Coincidentally, that was also the day I planned to get married. For the next 2 days, the man I agreed to marry sent someone to take me to try on wedding dresses and taste wedding banquets every day. I was so tired that I wanted to give up, but he was serious. "You saved my life," he said. "You are the only woman I will marry. So the wedding must be grand, and I won't let you compromise." His deep and sincere eyes made my heart skip a beat. In my previous life, he also approached me, but I had promised to marry Tristan, so I rejected him coldly. Later, I heard that he committed suicide. This guilt stayed with me for a long time. But at that time, I just wanted to save my sister and parents from the wrath of the Clark family. and I was willing to sacrifice everything for them. But this time was different. This time, I wanted to live for myself. I wanted to save the people I wanted to save and live the life I wanted to live. 3 days before the wedding, he told me that he was going to fly overseas to choose a diamond worthy of me. Heloise, he said, holding my hand gently, I'll send someone to pick you up tomorrow. You'll love this wedding dress, I promise. Then he got in the car and went to the airport. The next day, I saw the wedding dress, which was breathtakingly beautiful. The owner said that he had gathered hundreds of designers to complete it, and even named it after me. When I put it on, the whole room seemed to light up, and even my usually dull features looked radiant in the mirror. Just then, I heard that familiar voice. Tristan, I love the wedding dress she wore. I turned around and looked into Tristan's eyes. At that moment, I saw a flash of surprise in his eyes, but it quickly turned into sarcasm. Heloise? He laughed. What are you doing here? Did you find out that we were trying on wedding dresses and deliberately come to make trouble? Bianca threw herself into her mother's arms and pouted, saying, Mom, is she angry because we didn't invite her? My parents immediately pointed the finger at me. You little bastard. Mom scolded. So you're hiding here. Are you deliberately making your sister angry? Take off your wedding dress and get out. Do you really want to get married? It's a shame for the family, Dad scolded viciously. I sneered and retorted directly, I'm 23 years old. When did I need your permission to go somewhere or do anything? That wedding dress is mine, and no one can take it away. You ungrateful thing. Dad slapped me hard in the face. Mom also rushed up and grabbed the wedding dress like crazy. Your sister wants it. Take it off quickly. I tried to resist, but Tristan grabbed my arms and pushed me down. I was only wearing bra stickers and underwear under the wedding dress, and he saw me naked. Shame surged like a tide, and tears rolled in my eyes. When he saw that I was about to cry, he finally let me go to change clothes. When I walked out of the fitting room, I saw Bianca had put on the wedding dress, with a smug smile on her face, as if she had won some big prize. I told you, I clenched my fists, that wedding dress is mine. I tried to call the manager, but my mother roughly pulled me back. Have you embarrassed yourself enough? That wedding dress is for a beauty like your sister. Don't dream. Dad snatched my phone and yelled, go home and reflect. You are grounded until your sister's wedding is over. I was still shouting angrily, and Tristan had the bodyguard drag me out and put me in the car. He leaned close to my ear and laughed softly. Alois, this is what they call playing hard to get, right? You came here on purpose just to get my attention? Then he stuffed a key into my palm and added, be good. On the wedding night, I will spend the first half of the night with your sister and the second half with you. I spat in his face with disgust. What kind of garbage bag are you? It's so full and it's overflowing? Disgusting. You don't deserve me. His smile disappeared and his face darkened. You ungrateful bitch. Who else would want you besides me? You better think clearly. After that, he asked the bodyguard to take me home. I was locked in my room, gritting my teeth in anger. There were still 2 days left. I couldn't wait to see Tristan's curse take effect and turn into a monster that was neither male nor female. When that time came, the Clark family would first settle accounts with my sister and my parents. I had to cut off ties with them before then. That night, I made a scene, smashing furniture and throwing things, making everyone unable to sleep, but my parents still refused to let me out. In desperation, I set a fire. Half of the manor was burned down, and my parents scolded me for being a disaster and kicked me out completely. In the chaos, I grabbed my phone and called my fiancé. Without asking a single question, he sent someone to pick me up and take me to an empty luxury villa. For the next 2 days, I rested well and waited for the wedding. Finally, the day came, and I put on the wedding dress tailored for me and walked into the wedding hall. The moment my parents and Bianca saw me, their faces changed drastically. Even Tristan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise, but soon turned into disgust. Heloise, he yelled, you dressed like this to hijack someone else's wedding? Shame on you. I frowned because I didn't expect these two clowns to choose the same day to get married, but I calmly replied, don't be nervous. I'm here to get married, too. Now get out of the way. Bianca stood in front of me, grabbing the hem of her skirt, her eyes full of jealousy and resentment. Why have you always taken my things since you were a child? I'll give you the wedding dress, but Tristan? I'll never give it to you. This sentence made the whole audience uproar. Wait, what did she just say? The eldest daughter wants to steal her younger sister's wedding dress and groom? In the chaos, my parents squeezed through the crowd, glaring at me with red faces. Heloise, are you crazy? Just because we didn't let you steal your sister's fiancé, you wanted to burn us to death. And now you have the nerve to dress like this to ruin the wedding? Mom accused. Dad sneered and warned, just try it. If you keep making trouble, we will call the police.